This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Dec31 and welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And this birthday boy is a massive birthday boy, or he was a massive birthday boy in his prime. At his prime, he weighed a lot. He weighed roughly 600 pounds at his heaviest. He's now 58 years old. He's making a sportsman who's 600 pounds. Is he a wrestler? Yeah, he's a wrestler, but he's not a normal wrestler. He's a sumo wrestler. DOSUKOI dancing. Gonna talk about KONISHKI-KA dancing. How he was the biggest sumo DOSUKOI dancing. And he won 2 titles. DOSUKOI dancing. Are you ready? Are you ready? Clap your hands, clap your hands. DOSUKOI. Woo! Anyway, his name is KONISHKI-KA. Well, not really. His real name is Salvia Fololi Atasane. Of course, I'm not much on pronunciation, so I suck. Anyway, at age 18, he was recruited by Takamiyama, or Takamiyama as I call him, who was the first foreign-born sumo wrestler to win a title. And that was in 1972. Takamiyama, also Hawaiian-born. He actually was going to try to be a lawyer and even had a music scholarship to Syracuse University. And his father had to work with the U.S. Navy and supported 8 children. So that's huge how you got a music scholarship to Syracuse. Anyway, KONISHKI found the opportunity to join sumo too good to resist. He was given a good potential. He was named KONISHKI after the 17th yokozuna in history, KONISHKI Yasukishi I, who came from the late 19th century. That's like 1880s. There was actually a sumo wrestler in the early 1900s named KONISHKI Yasukishi. So he was named KONISHKI. In his first tournament in my sumo, like lower ranked sumo, he was 7-0. He ended up winning the Jonokuchi. And then Joey went to Joidan the next level and was 7-0. Then he went to Makushita by 83. KONISHKI looked good. He was given a lot of time. In fact, after only 8 tournaments. Now remember, in sumo there are 6 tournaments a year, every other month. So 8 tournaments. So that's roughly 2 years. Almost a year and a half, year and a quarter, I say. After 15 months, he actually went from the unsalaried ranks to the second highest tier, which is Juryo, which was getting a salary. So it was the fastest rise at the time. KONISHKI made his secretary debut in November 83. He was still 19 years old. It was the youngest wrestler in the Makuchi or Juryo. He did pretty well. He was 11-4, losing a playoff. Unfortunately, injury would ruin him, and he would have a losing record. However, he won the next 2 Juryo titles, which meant he got to be promoted to Makuchi, or the top division, in 1984. KONISHKI made his debut in the top division July 1984, and actually, ironically, in September 84, he beat 2 of the yokozuna, Chinofuji and Takano Sato, and actually finished 12-3, which was a runner-up finish. Great job. He was still in the Megashira ranks, but not for long. He was made Komusubi, or the 5th highest division, the 5th highest division within Makuchi, top tier, the 5th tier. He was Komusubi, and then when he did well in May 85, he was given Sekuake, July 85. So he was close to being Oseki, being a champion, or a yokozuna grand champion. Unfortunately, he would suffer an injury to his behind because of a stool collapsing beneath him. And in May 86, he lost to Futahaguro and got injured. However, he did pretty well And in 87, he put up 3 straight double-digit win tournaments, which meant he got promoted to Oseki. In fact, Konishki's stable master was a Yokozuna, Asashio, and he thought that Konishki could reach the top rank by his 25th birthday. However, he gained a lot of weight and caused strain on his knees, obviously. He didn't have particularly good scores in Oseki. However, he stayed in the Oseki rank. In November 1989, after a terrible 5-10 September mark, he shocked everyone by winning the title at 14-1. He was like flawless in November 1989. I wish I had the who he beat and all that. But anyhow, he won his first title. He was the first since Takamiyama to be a foreigner winning a title. And in March 1990, he was in a 3-way playoff, but lost to Asahi Fuji, who then, after another decent tournament, got himself promoted to Yokozuna in July. Konishki looked good, winning 14 straight belts in May of 91. Unfortunately, he got beaten by Asahi Fuji again. Konishki was still a great Yokozuna candidate, and he overcame his injuries and consistency. At a time that they needed a grand champion because Chiyono Fuji and Ono Kuni retired, and Asahi Fuji with Hokotumi were struggling. Thanks to that, Konishki actually won 2 tournaments in November of 91 and March of 92, so 2 out of 3. And in the 3 tournaments, he only lost 7 times out of 45, which was pretty good. Unfortunately, he was denied promotion in Yokozuna, with the Yokozuna Deliberation Committee saying that we want to make double sure that Konishki is worthy to be grand champion. We need to win another tournament. And another member actually said that Konishki did not possess Hinkaku, which is basically grace, elegance, and refinement. Unfortunately, the New York Times, when they said that, had a article that says, we don't need a foreign Yokozuna. And they subsequently quoted Konishki saying, if I were Japanese, I'd be Yokozuna already. Unfortunately, the Sumo Association was upset. Konishki did deny making the mark, insisting that one of his personal attendants had impersonated him, but the damage was done. Unfortunately, he fell to 9-6. Didn't do that well, and basically he went on a downhill slope. Konishki would still be Oseki until 93 after 2 straight losing records. He was still in the top division as a Makashira. Unfortunately, he would weigh more than 600 pounds, and it would be susceptible to throws and slapdowns by lighter and more agile opponents. He was still more popular with Japanese fans due to his fighting spirit, distinctive bulk, and admirable personality. In November 97, he had trouble. He had gout, he had a stomach ulcer, and chronic knee problems. But unfortunately, November 97 was the last time he would be fighting in Yokozuna as a fighter. Konishki would become an elder for a little bit for Japan Sumo Association, but decided to branch out as a Japanese under Konishki. But the capitalization was to reflect the association's requirement to write his name in the Roman alphabet. After his retirement from sumo, he can't spell it in Japanese characters. Well, Konishki was on Leno. I gotta find out about this. But anyway, there's a picture. I see. In 2000, someone actually created an animated series called Doto Koni-chan. And the protagonist is a fat child that resembles Konishki. There was a famous Japanese anime called Ahari Manada that actually had a black sumo wrestler resembling Konishki. Anyway, he had a hip-hop album in 2000. Because on Sumo Stomp and, Dosukoi dancing. In 2004, he married his girlfriend, a former medical worker, Chi Ijima. He actually married a model, Sumika Shielda, in 92, but they divorced in 2000, amicably. He actually made an appearance in the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift in 2006 as Pa, a Japanese gangster who had a paw on his back. I think he's still the host of an NHK children's program called Nihongo de Azubo, which teaches children traditional and colloquial Japanese. He's known as Koni-chan. He was a DJ and then took a hiatus to get gastric bypass surgery. He underwent the operation in 2008 and lost at least 150 pounds. So that's great. I think he's like, what, 280 pounds now? He's lost it. But anyway, he sings a lot of songs and all that. He can rap in English and Japanese. And he helped the found the Konishki Kids Foundation to help underprivileged children from Hawaii to experience Japanese culture. All that. So, yeah, he's done pretty well for himself. All that. He was known for his oshidashi thrusting push-out style. Kind of like Akebono, his fellow Hawaiian superstar, a sumo wrestler. So he did pretty well. 730 career sumo wins in 93 tournaments. He won 3 Makuuchi, once November 89, November 91, and March 92, 2 Juryo, March 84 and May 84. Jody Don and Donakuchi. Special prizes, he had 10. 5 for fighting spirit, 4 for outstanding performance, and 1 for technique. He had 2 kinboshi, only 2 kinboshi. A kinboshi is when you're a wrestler outside of the top 3 divisions, like Yokozuna, Oseki, outside of Sanyaku. If you're a Magushiro wrestler and you beat a Yokozuna, you get kinboshi, which is a bonus you get every tournament. Regardless of how you do in the tournament, you'll still get that bonus mark. In fact, he was the first non-Japanese Oseki, or champion, not grand champion, second heaviest sumo wrestler at 287 kilograms. Actually, a Russian sumo actually beat that mark. I think he's retired. Anyway, the record for 6th most tournaments at Oseki with 39. So that's roughly about 6.5 years at Oseki without jumping up or being demoted. And he now has tied for the 8th fastest progress to top division with 12 tournaments. That's 2 years. It was amazing about KONISHKI-KA being an icon and all that. So Konishki had a great sumo life. All that. There's a famous picture of Konishki with Mike Tyson in 1988. But anyway, Konishki couldn't believe he won the tournament. So Konishki does his pride and all that. So Konishki was a gigantic icon, all that. And you can't believe how slim he is. I mean, like, he weighs 600 pounds at his maximum. But anyway, Konishki is a great legend to sumo wrestling. I'm a big sumo fan. Fight me on that. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Sayonara.